What's going on, guys? WhiteFox1225 here with another video, and today we'll be talking about the patch notes for the Thieves Guild and also some crown store items that are coming to the game in the next couple months. Some people did, some data mining and found some stuff that wasn't released, so we have quite a bit to go over for the crown store, but also talking about some news and some new stuff we learned from the patch notes. So let's get right into it and talk about the grouping tool. So obviously the LFG hasn't worked in ESO for quite a while. It's almost impossible to find a group, so they're really trying to overhaul it. So with the new update to the group tool, we have some new UI and a new design, so it looks different, but it also works different. So now there's 3 sections. You can try to join a regular group, which would just be, running around a zone, doing, random stuff, delves, bosses, whatever. We have the dungeon finder, which is what most people use it for, which is finding a group for a 4-man dungeon. And then we have the alliance war, which is going into Cyrodiil and, doing fighting there. So there's also cross-alliance grouping. We went over this, but I thought I'd touch on it again. If you're in a dungeon, you can now group with anyone from any alliance, any of the 3, it doesn't matter at all, and you can just do that dungeon with them. It is limited dungeons, so you can't do Cyrodiil or a PvE zone with people from other alliances, but it's a start for being able to play with anyone in the game you want, and I know a lot of people are going to be really happy about it. You can also now queue up for more than one dungeon at once. And there's also a random dungeon finder. We talked about that a little bit, but that's just going to put you in any dungeon, just a random one, just like it sounds. But when you do that, you're going to get lots of experience if you actually complete the dungeon, and you're also going to be able to get a special armor set, which is just, extra incentive for people to do the random dungeon, because they really want people to do it, because it's going to help group forms a lot easier. So if you're looking for some cool armor and lots of experience, the random group finder is definitely a great way to do that. There's now a vitality bonus for trials, so when you go into a trial you have a certain amount of lives, right? And now when you finish the trial, each life you have left is worth 1,000 points. And so when you do that, you just get higher up on the leaderboard. It gives you more incentive not to die, and it makes it so that if 2 people finish the trial, one is better than the other, and it helps you measure who's doing better at the trials just for the leaderboard. So it's a nice new system. We have quite a bit of PvP news to talk about, so let's just get right into it. The Azura Star and Blackwater Blade campaigns now limit the champion system. They've been talking about that for a while, so it's just for newer players who don't necessarily have a lot of champion points. They can now play in those, and that's slowly going to be replacing the non-veteran campaigns. We have a new rare items merchant named, I can't even pronounce it, but it's Aba-daro, and they're just going to sell some really rare, cool armor, some things that you can't really, get or buy at most places in the game, and this is part of their continued effort to make it so that people in Cyrodiil get some cool armor too, because it's kind of hard right now. PvE is kind of where it's at for item grinding, but you can now do that. You're going to be able to buy those for a lot of, alliance points and also a lot of gold, either one. The merchant's going to be available at the Western Elswire Gate, Northern High Rock Gate, or Southern Morrowind Gate, which basically means all alliances will have access to her, but she's not always going to be there. You'll have to find her at certain times, and I think when she appears it's going to kind of be a special thing for everyone in the campaign. But definitely keep an eye out for that if you have lots of money or alliance points to spend. Forward camps are returning, which I think is a really cool thing, but there are some changes. First off, you can only spawn at one if you die in its radius, so if you die around it you can spawn at one, but you can't go to one across the map. The forward camp's radius have been greatly reduced, and you can also only buy one if your alliance rank 6 or higher. So for the Thieves Guild, just one quick thing, there are hidden panels around the city of Aba's Landing in Hews Bane, and there's going to be some, hidden, places and treasures around, so it's going to be a really fun city to explore and steal some stuff. Pretty excited for that. One really nice thing that ZeniMax is doing is the new loyalty reward. So we had some loyalty rewards, back when there was still a subscription fee. But now if you own the Orcidium DLC, you're going to get an Achantle, or I think I'm saying that right, I'm not sure. The little bear thing, you're going to get one of those pets, and you can see the picture on the screen. And then if you buy the Thieves Guild DLC, you're going to get a jackal pet. And from now on, all DLC will come with a loyalty reward, which is really nice to reward players who, put money into the game. It's just a nice little extra thing that you get. So let's move on and talk about the crown store. Reddit user Turbobit, I think that's how you say his name, did some data mining, and we found a lot of crown store items that are coming to the game over the next couple months. So I figured in this video I'd go over all of them and talk about, what they are and put pictures on the screen so you guys can check them out too. Let's get started. First off, there's a new every DLC bundle coming to the crown store, and that's just going to give you, as it sounds like, every DLC in the game. Not sure what the price is, but you're going to be able to buy that. We have the Dromothra costume pack. The Thieves Guild Collector's Edition, which just gives you the mount and the pet. You can also get the Pirate costume pack, and that's really cool. I'm pretty excited to wear that. We have a Crown Dessert. I'm not really sure what the Crown Dessert is, but you'll be able to buy in the Crown store, so I guess we'll find out, later on as time goes by. We have the Style Item Pack Large, the Style Item Pack Low, and the Style Item Pack Medium. So what that is, I think, is they talked about, the ability to buy, a style item, like a style material, and then be able to use it for crafting, just a generic one, and be able to use it with any style you want. I think that's what this is, just kind of raw material for crafting, but not completely sure, so, that's just speculation. Nothing's confirmed about that at all, but those are coming to the game. We also have the Treasure Hunter costume. The Redguard Noble Dress. The Redguard Male Mid, which is just kind of like a middle class Redguard costume. The Redguard Male Low, which is, lower class. And then we have the Redguard Male High, which, is pretty fancy. Then we have the same thing for pirates, so we have the Pirate Mid. The Pirate Low. We have the Pirate High. And then maybe the most exciting thing is the Morag Tong Motif. Now if you don't know, the Morag Tong are an assassin group from Morrowind, except they do legal assassinations. Some pretty cool lore there, but you can now use their armor and motif. I'm guessing this will come with the Dark Brotherhood DLC. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but it looks really great. The armor looks really cool. Next up we have the Dragon Warrior, and that's the Dragon Warrior from Skyrim, all the things you saw in the promo. That's going to be in the game, which is just so exciting. I know a lot of people are going to buy that. Probably going to sell fantastically, so if you want that costume, it is coming to the game, and you can live out your, Dragonborn fantasies in the Elder Scrolls Online. Next up we have the Dromothra Mid. Then we have the Breton Male Mid. The Breton Male Low, and of course the Breton Male High. Then we have some Bosmer stuff coming into the game, so we have the Bosmer Female Mid, the Bosmer Female Low, the Dromothra Light, and the Dromothra Heavy. So we also have another motif coming to the game, which is the ancient orc motif that you've probably seen in Orcinium. The armor probably looks kind of familiar, but it is really cool, and it's kind of like a metal orcish armor. So that's going to be coming to the Crown Store, and you can pick that motif up. Another costume comes to the game, which is just so cool, is the Dragon Priest costume. Now you probably saw these guys in Skyrim, everyone loved the masks, they were really fun to wear, people collect them. They're just super cool, and now you can wear that costume in the Elder Scrolls Online. I can imagine so many people buying this, and honestly, so many of these things are cool, but we'll talk about that later. But another great costume coming to the game from Skyrim is the Dragon Priest costume, and can't wait to check that out. Let's move on to mounts. So we have the Black Camel of Ill Omen. I got to try the camel out a little bit on the PTS. I have to say, it's really fun to ride. It's really high off the ground actually. And when you hit space, it does like a little spitting thing. And spit is actually kind of green, which is weird, but I think it's a really great mount. Gonna be using the camel quite a bit. So we have the Black Camel of Ill Omen, which is a darker camel. Then we also have the Hammerfell camel. Then the Zet's Cloud camel. The Dromothra Sench, which is basically a glowing panther, which is just fantastic. So you can go and grab that when it comes to the game. We have the Pride King Lion, which I believe is the first male lion to come into the game. There's the Masked Bear, which kind of looks like a panda to me, but you guys can check it out on the screen and see for yourself. Not really sure what they were going for, but it definitely does look cool. Then we have the White Guar. I think this is the best guar to come to the game. Personally, not a huge fan of the guar mounts, but this one is kind of like albino. Looks really great, so you can check that out if you are a guar fan. We have the White Lion, which is also a male lion, so you know, some male lions come to the game. I think some people were pretty excited for that on the Reddit, so if you guys wanted a male lion, there you go. Let's move on and talk about pets. So we have the Kindlespit Dragon Frog, which we've seen a little bit of in, you know, the ESO Thieves Guild trailer, and also on the PTS. I have to say he's pretty cool on the PTS, got to play around with it. It does spit fire, as the name would kind of suggest, so it's kind of a fun frog to have around. But the even cooler versions of it is the Tangerine Dragon Frog, which you can see on the screen, has like orange polka dots, looks really intense. And then the Blue Oasis Dragon Frog. Those last two I think are a little cooler than the first one, so you're going to have to buy those at the Crown Store when they come if you are a frog fan. Then we have the Chalante, which are those animals from Orcidium. This one's a baby, so it's a little bit smaller, but still really cute. We have the Sench Lion Cub, which is just a baby Sench Lion. Then the Moonlight Sench Tiger. And then we also have some assistants coming to the game. If you guys don't know what assistants are, they're kind of like followers. You can just queue them up like pets, except they have a purpose. So the merchant you can buy stuff from, the banker you can sell stuff, and also when you do the Thieves Guild, you're going to be getting the smuggler. When you get that, you can just give her your stolen items and she'll take them and sell them for you. So the merchant and the banker will also be coming to the Crown Store at some point, I assume with the Thieves Guild DLC, since they've already talked about it a little bit. So keep an eye out for those. And that pretty much does it for the Crown Store stuff and does it for the video. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned some stuff. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. A lot more ESO videos coming and some stuff on The Division, Far Cry, you know, upcoming games like Firewatch. Lots of cool things. So if you want to see that again, hit the subscribe button. Thanks guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next one.